Discovery in the ice. The asteroid belt glittered like scattered diamonds against the void. Captain Draken Vareth maneuvered his salvage vessel, the Wandering Star, between frozen rocks, his scanner beeping steadily. After 3 months alone in the Cassiopeia sector, he'd grown accustomed to silence. Then the scanner shrieked. What in the cosmos? Draken leaned forward, studying the readings. Embedded in a massive ice-coated asteroid was something metallic, something artificial. His pulse quickened. Real salvage, not just scrap. He suited up and jetted across the void, magnetic boots clanking against the asteroid's surface. Through layers of ancient ice, a crystalline pod gleamed with faint bioluminescence. Draken's breath caught. This wasn't human technology. Using thermal cutters, he carved around the pod for 2 hours. When he finally freed it, the object hummed with residual energy. He hauled it aboard his ship, securing it in the cargo bay. Inside the transparent upper section, 2 figures lay suspended. Draken stumbled backward. They were humanoid but distinctly alien, skin in shades of violet and lavender, hair like flowing silk in colors of deep indigo. Their features were elegant, otherworldly. "Computer, run bioscans," he commanded. "Life signs detected. Subjects in cryostasis. Recommend immediate revival procedure." Draken hesitated. Reviving unknown aliens could mean anything. Danger, disease, diplomatic incidents, but leaving them frozen felt wrong. He'd lost too many people to make that choice again. "Initiate thaw protocol." The pod hissed, releasing pressurized gases. Temperature gauges climbed steadily. After 20 minutes, the lid opened with a soft click. The first alien stirred, her eyes fluttering open, irises like swirling amethyst. She gasped, lurching upward, speaking in melodic sounds his translator couldn't immediately process. "Easy," Draken raised his hands. "You're safe. You're aboard my ship." The second alien woke beside her, reaching for her companion's hand. They looked at him with confusion, fear, and something else. Desperate hope.
Understanding and connection. The sisters clutched each other, speaking rapidly in their melodic language. Draken's translator finally synchronized, rendering their words into comprehensible speech. "Where are we? How long?" the elder one asked, her voice trembling. "You're aboard the Wandering Star, my salvage vessel. I'm Captain Draken Vareth. I found your pod in the asteroid field." He gestured to a nearby bench. "Please, sit. You've been in stasis for... The pod's logs indicate approximately 200 years. The younger sister gasped, covering her mouth. The elder steadied herself, processing the information with visible effort. "I am Kyra," she said formally, placing a hand over her heart. "This is my sister, Nessa. Were of the Aethel civilization." Her voice cracked slightly. 2 centuries? Draken brought them water and nutrition supplements. As they consumed the offerings cautiously, Kyra explained their history. The Aethel Empire had spanned 12 star systems before the Cascade, an energy plague that drained their people's life force. Leaders placed select survivors in cryopods, hoping future generations might find a cure. "Our physiology requires what we call harmonic resonance. Energy exchange with compatible species helps us fully recover. Without it, we remain weakened." "What do you need?" Draken asked. Nessa spoke for the first time, her voice softer than her sister's. "Time, mostly. Proximity to compatible life forms. Your presence alone helps, though slowly." Over the following days, Draken showed them his ship. They marveled at human technology, so different from their crystalline, bio-integrated systems. Nessa proved curious about everything, asking countless questions about Earth, humanity, and Draken's travels. Kyra remained more reserved, but gradually opened up during evening meals. She shared holographic memories from her neural interface, images of the Aethel homeworld with its floating crystal cities and bioluminescent forests. "Beautiful," Draken whispered, genuinely moved. "It was home," Kyra replied, her expression distant but warming. Journey to safety. The wandering star cruised toward Titan Colony, a journey requiring 3 weeks at current speed. Dracon had sent encrypted messages ahead, notifying authorities about his unusual passengers. Diplomatic protocols would be complicated, but the sisters needed proper medical evaluation and asylum. The daily routine aboard ship evolved naturally. Mornings began with Dracon checking systems while the sisters practiced their understanding of human language, their translator implants absorbing vocabulary rapidly. Nessa proved particularly adept, soon joking in colloquial phrases that made Dracon laugh. "You said this ship is held together by hope and duct tape?" Nessa repeated his earlier comment. "But I see no tape, and hope is not a structural material." "It's an expression," Dracon chuckled. "Means the ship is old and needs constant repairs." "Then we shall help," Nessa declared enthusiastically. The sisters' aethal engineering knowledge proved invaluable. Kyra identified inefficiencies in the power distribution system, while Nessa suggested modifications to the environmental controls. Working together in the engine room, they created an unlikely but effective team. "Hand me the plasma torch," Kyra instructed. Dracon complied, watching as she recalibrated the energy couplings with precise movements. Her people's technology operated on different principles, but the underlying physics remained universal. During rest periods, they shared stories. Dracon spoke of Earth's oceans, mountains, and cities. The sisters described Aethel's twin moons and the Festival of Lights, where entire populations would synchronize their bioluminescence. "I wish you could have seen it," Kyra said softly one evening, gazing at the stars through the viewport. "Maybe we'll find other Aethel survivors," Dracon offered. "The galaxy is vast." Nessa smiled hopefully. "Or perhaps we build something new. Together, different peoples can create what none could alone." Her words resonated with Dracon, who'd spent years isolated, avoiding connections after losing his crew to a plague years ago. These sisters, rescued from ice, somehow made him believe in possibilities again.
Battle and sacrifice. The proximity alarms shattered the peaceful routine. Dracon bolted to the bridge, the sisters close behind. "3 vessels approaching fast," he announced, studying the tactical display. "Scavenger configuration. They must have intercepted our distress beacon from the asteroid field." "They want the pod?" Kyra asked, her expression hardening. "Or worse, they want you." Dracon's jaw clenched. "Alien specimens fetch high prices on black markets." The comm crackled. "Wandering star, power down and prepare for boarding. Surrender your cargo peacefully." "Not happening," Dracon muttered, initiating evasive maneuvers. The ship lurched as enemy fire grazed their shields. "We can help," Nessa said urgently. "Our telepathic abilities. We can sense their attack patterns before they fire." Kyra nodded. "Give us access to your sensor array." Dracon hesitated only a moment before routing controls to the auxiliary stations. The sisters placed their hands on the interfaces, their bioluminescent markings beginning to glow softly. "Left, now," Nessa called out. Dracon banked hard. A plasma burst seared through the space they'd just occupied. The sisters' synchronized warnings allowed him to anticipate each attack, dodging with precision impossible for normal reflexes. But the scavengers were relentless. A direct hit rocked the ship, sending sparks cascading from overhead panels. Hull integrity dropped to 60%. "I'm taking us into the debris field," Dracon announced, steering toward a dense cluster of asteroids. "Too dangerous," Kyra protested. "Exactly." His grin was fierce. For them. The wandering star dove into the chaos of spinning rocks. The larger scavenger vessels struggled to follow, their bulk working against them. One clipped an asteroid and spiraled away, disabled. The other 2 pressed on, firing wildly. "Kyra, can you overload their targeting systems? Some kind of telepathic interference?" "Possibly, but it requires proximity and concentration." She met his eyes. "And it will temporarily drain us completely." "Do it," Nessa agreed, clasping her sister's hand.
The sisters closed their eyes, their combined focus creating a visible shimmer in the air. One scavenger vessel suddenly veered off course, its systems flickering erratically. The pilot's panicked voice filled the comm before cutting out. The final scavenger fired a desperate volley. Dracon twisted the ship, but one blast struck their starboard engine. The explosion threw everyone forward. "Hull breach, Section 4, the computer announced. Through the smoke, Dracon saw the sisters slumped in their seats, completely exhausted from their effort. The remaining scavenger was retreating, apparently deciding the prize wasn't worth the cost. Dracon quickly sealed the breach and checked on Kyra and Nessa. They were unconscious, but breathing steadily. "You saved us," he whispered, carefully moving them to the medbay. "All of us."
New beginnings. Titan Colony's lights glowed like a jewel against Saturn's rings as the limping, wandering star approached. Medical teams and diplomatic officials waited at the docking bay, prepared for the historic first contact with Aether survivors. In the medbay, Kyra stirred first, followed shortly by Nessa. Dracon sat between their recovery pods, relief flooding through him. "We made it," he said simply. Kyra smiled weakly. "Your flying was adequate." "Adequate?" Dracon laughed. "I'll take it." Nessa squeezed his hand gently. "Thank you for not leaving us in the ice." The following weeks transformed all their lives. Scientists marveled at Aether technology. Diplomats established protocols for potential future contact with other survivors. The sisters underwent medical evaluation, confirming they were fully recovered, their harmonic resonance stabilized through their time aboard the wandering star. Officials offered them sanctuary, quarters in the colony, positions as cultural liaisons. But when Kyra and Nessa met with Dracon in his repaired ship, they had different intentions. "We've discussed our options," Kyra began formally. Then her expression softened. "But we find ourselves unwilling to say goodbye." Nessa nodded enthusiastically. "You mentioned needing crew members. Your ship requires constant repairs, and you clearly need people who understand proper engineering." "Are you asking to join my crew?" Dracon asked, surprised and pleased. "If you'll have us," Kyra replied. "We have no empire to return to, but perhaps we can build something new, explore together, help others who might be lost like we were." Dracon looked at these remarkable beings who'd entered his life from 2 centuries of frozen sleep. They'd fought beside him, trusted him, and somehow filled the empty spaces in his solitary existence. The wandering star would be honored, he said warmly. As they prepared for departure, the 3 stood at the viewport, gazing at the infinite stars. Different species, different worlds, but united by shared purpose and genuine friendship. Their journey together was just beginning.